Right, so I have had to, in the end, after a long nonsense with the indicator, the switch here, it turns out I think that the switch itself, you can't really see it back there, is loose and it's causing me problems with the headlights now constantly. So I've decided to get a new one, which is here. I actually took off the steering wheel. I don't know if you saw the last video, but I took off the steering wheel and got to this thing. Now what I need to do is take this apart to fit in all the parts. I've already taken off the headlight switch. It's just a 19 nut there that slots out, and then you just stick it back on. And all I've got to do is take this thing. It's called this thing. There was two bolts here holding the windscreen wiper. Now this did not come with the new one. It's called, I think, a starburst washer. It's basically a washer with teeth. So you've got to use a flathead screwdriver and just simply try and take this off. And it's the last thing now holding everything off. I've also taken off the wiring, the connectors. There's four. There's three here: headlight, indicator. Horn, I think, indicator and full beams, and the washer, the windscreen wipers on that side down there. So there's four here that I took off. They just got you see that they've got a lock at the bottom. You just push a screwdriver in and take them out. They're pretty straightforward. And yeah, so we just got to do this stupid little thing that I know will break, and I'm gonna have to drive, and of course I can't drive to get a new one, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out, but I'll come up with a plan. And once that's off, we put the windscreen wiper back on the new one here, and yeah, put it back on. The last thing I'd say is that this screw, this star screw here, it holds a bracket, a plastic molding bracket. Now these things normally break. On mine, where is it? It broke as well. So usually what happens is that they come a bit loose on the column once you do that. So that's also good that I've got that. Yeah, so here we go. We've got the old and the new one here. Managed to get that little I think it's called a push on washer or star lock washer. It's got these little washer with teeth. I managed to get it off there. This little bit here on the windscreen wiper on the right hand side just fits into that hole, and then you put on the star lock washer on there. You've got two bolts to put on there. And as I said up before, I've already put on the headlight. There is a 19 nut just behind there, and yeah, you just put it back onto the steering column, reconnect, put the connectors back on, the wiring back on, and it should work. And here you go. And I will keep this one. I'm a big keeper of stuff, big hoarder. That's the word. Strip it for parts if I need it. But I mean, if that prong is gone, if the indicator with the full beams and horn is gone, in terms of working in tandem with the headlights, what happens is that when you switch on the engine, you put on the headlights, you put on these things, and before you needed to switch on the full beams before the headlights work. So it's obviously a switch problem here. I reckon this has gone somewhere here. It has gone. That white switch. I don't think the actual electrics have gone, or the actual switch has gone, but I think that white thing doesn't seem to operate as well. That doesn't switch back from full beams to headlight or whatever. I'm not an electrician, and I never have been. That's why I always pick cars with a little electrics. So yeah, let's get this thing together and put it back on the vehicle. And there you go. Managed to put that star lock washer back on. I've got the two bolts on there. The 19 nut is secure for the headlight, so that should just now fit back onto the steering column, and then I just need to reattach the connectors back onto the wiring back on, and we should have we should have liftoff. There you go. That pretty much goes on like that. I needed to undo this little nutty. I told you before that the old one was broken there for that ring, the ring mold, so that will then secure onto the steering column and hold it in place. Once I've done that, I'll just reconnect all these and we should, there you go, that should work. I've tightened that onto that bolt onto the plastic molding around the column, so that's now in place. I'm just going to connect these wires up and it looks good. Then you just put the molding back on, put the steering wheel back on. That in theory now with straight wheels should line up perfectly. You're meant to mark it. You can see all the scratches. That's where people have marked it straight down to show where exactly the steering wheel should align with. But that should work. I've aligned the cancelling cam so that little wedge is on the right hand side, is on the left hand side, sorry, perfectly straight. So then the teeth on the steering wheel, I wish I think it's in the back of the car. These teeth there align, and then what happens when you turn the wheel, it cancels. It's a cancelling cam, so it cancels out the indicator when you turn, and you turn back to straight and then it cancels them out, those little teeth there. I actually had a problem because these things were set back. These plastic moldings, there's a metal teeth, there's a little teeth on these two. You can see there through the plastic where it's worn away, so I had to pull these out a bit using pliers, so it actually went into the it caught rather onto the cancelling cam because it wasn't catching properly last time. There, those little holes on top. So yeah, here we go. Right, so steering wheel back on. I was able to take this off to put the plastic molding back on. The plastic molding was a real bugger actually. The wiring for the new switch was actually the connectors back here was actually longer. So I just had to struggle a bit more, but the steering wheel came off because it hadn't been locked on yet. What happens is these things, as I said before, they lock on, and that's what makes them hard to get off. But everything else is fine. It's been put on. I just need to put on the washer and the nut here. I'll tighten that up with the, I think 22. Always I just used it, I've forgotten already. The teeth here on the thread are getting a bit worn down because I've taken it on and off so many times. I've got to be careful with that. Because but then we'll rethread it, I guess. Still, there's always a solution. So when that's on properly, that's what makes it a bit hard already. It's a bit hard to put on because the thread on the column has actually worn down already a bit. But as I said, we'll rethread it if we have to. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll put it on. The switch seems to be working fine. All the switches are fine. We'll switch it on and give it a go. The steering wheel should be straight now. I've just been messing around with this, so obviously turned it a bit, but that should now be straight when I drive. And we got this thing, a cover which I'd taken off because I actually ripped it a bit, which fits on there like that. But I ripped it, so I had to, where is it? There you go, can't even see it, there. So I've Q-blocked it. I've used Q-block and I've put it back on, there. And it should hold. There's a bit of spill that I couldn't get off. I'll work it out. I tried methylated spirits and mineral turpentine, still wouldn't come off because I left it too long. But you can't really see it when you drive, and I'll sort it out one day. And if not, I'll get another one. There's a place called British 4x4 up in Pretoria that does scrap parts from damaged Land Rovers. I'm sure I'll find one there like that. To just fit on, in theory. I haven't broken it. There you go. That's fitted on. Now, moment of truth. Now, when I switch the engine on, those headlights now should come on without needing the full beam to work as well. Let's just switch it on and see if it drives straight. I need to open the gate. I don't know if the gate key is in the car. Switches on fine. Let's move the seat back forward. I drive right up closer. I like control of the pedals, which I get if I sit up, which doesn't lead to exactly a good driving experience. But yeah. Right, let me go and get the gate key and let me just check to make sure the lights all work as well. Let's see if it drives straight with a straight wheel, straight line. Hopefully it will. I'll have to take it off again and line it up properly. I was trying to fix the headlight. Should have marked it, but let's have a look. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Straight. The wheel's straight now, which it wasn't before. The cover's back on. I'm going to reverse up and see if the lights work with the engine on, and we are done. Let's see if the lights work. They should both. The beam should come on now. It wasn't coming on before unless I put the full beam on. And voila! They're working perfectly. Awesome. Job well done.